Breaking right now, the vile and despicable gang of internet trolls, the Sussex squad, have invaded the Invictus Games, seem to be sitting behind Prince Harry and Meghan, and are now stalking and attacking and encouraging the police to arrest Tom Bower, the royal author who, of course, published the tell-all book about Meghan Markle. Now, no wonder Harry and Meghan ruined Invictus is trending all over social media, but the Sussex squad, they just want to target people who are telling the truth. So let's look first at the disgusting way that they tracked down and then targeted Tom Bower, who, let's be honest, I know him very well, good guy, but elderly man in Vancouver.
You're at Invictus.
Why I'm here?
Yeah, why are you at Invictus? Sure, really? Yeah? That's why you came to see? Or is it because you know Harry and Meghan were going to be here today? Yeah. Yeah, we've read the things you've wrote about them, especially Meghan. We've seen your book, we've heard about your book. So it's very interesting that you're at Invictus because we know why you're here. So why don't you tell the truth about why you're here? You came all the way from the UK and the UK press to Invictus in Canada just because you want to see it. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah. But yeah, we know.
Now, these are truly despicable people. Truly despicable people. And remember, despite everything they've done, despite their attacks on Catherine, the late Queen Elizabeth II, Queen Camilla, and now journalists, Harry and Meghan have never disassociated themselves with this folk. And by the way, this is officially sanctioned by the Sussex Squad. The Sussex Squad podcast actually posted on X about this. If you all see bowel movement at the Invictus Games, so they're talking about Tom Bower there, how revolting are these people? Make sure you let him know how evil he is and get it on video. Also let him know he will not be allowed to stalk Meghan. Better yet, call the cops on him. Now, this comes at the same time as Meghan's mole has actually spotted one of Meghan Markle's favourite so-called squaddies sitting right behind her at the games, and Meghan's mole tweeted, "Peace has openly threatened the Wales family and their children on this platform. How on earth did she manage to secure that seat?" And look, there's a lot of anger about what's going on here, of course. Madam Megaflop posted on X, "I'm starting to think that Harry and Meghan's Sussex squad will end up overshadowing the Invictus Games event. A police investigation must be conducted. People attending the Invictus Games could be in jail." And responding to that video of Tom Bower, they posted, "OMG, this is blatant elder abuse. This is what Harry and Meghan promote. Total abuse and disrespect against Tom Bower. Dan Wootton, I hope you are watching this." And P. Dina, who's actually here tomorrow, the royal YouTube sensation, posted, "Disgusting how brainwashed these people are for Meghan Markle. Tom Bower's book spoke truth. We live in a free country and he can go anywhere he wants." So I guess we shouldn't be surprised, Angela Levin. We know the Sussex squad are revolting people. They are trolls.
We've both experienced it, haven't we, as well?
Terribly.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But what do you think about them actually physically targeting Tom Bower, encouraging people to film him, and also suggesting that the police should be called on him simply for reporting at the Invictus Games?
Well, the police won't do anything about it. He's entitled to be there as a human being. But Tom is, very, very strong, and he'll use that in his book. I'm quite sure he's open to anything really, and he does like to go for the negative quite a lot. So he would have quite a good story based on this, and he will get information out of some of them, of course, because he's also a very good book writer, but I don't think he needs our help. He knows exactly how to do it, and if he doesn't like people, the more he writes about them. So I don't think we need to worry that much.
Picture this. The Invictus Games, Harry's flagship event for wounded veterans, should be about resilience and unity. Instead, it's making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Investigative author Tom Bauer shows up, and within minutes he's surrounded by furious Sussex supporters. Security scrambles, someone yells, "Call the police!" and the whole venue tips from celebration into confrontation. How did a sporting event for heroes turn into a battleground for fandom? Let's break it down.
Well, I hope not. I hope not. But the thing is, Angela, these people are particularly grim in so many ways. And it does feel like the Invictus Games is getting such bad PR because everything's about Harry and Meghan. Now everything's about the Sussex squad. You have been told that a lot of Canadians, despite Meghan claiming that, she was returning home, are actually not at all impressed with the way that Meghan seems to be destroying these games.
No, they're not, you see, because they didn't want her there. They had some sort of thing to say, let's try and stop her, but it hasn't worked. And Germany don't want her. I mean, they just don't want her to take over. This is for people who have been wounded and help them get better. And actually what they've done before each year that it's on, it helps them together and they can talk about things and understand each other and help each other. Because if you're very fit and then suddenly you're not at all, you feel very lonely, and it does help. But they don't want somebody like Meghan taking over, and Harry obviously just stands behind her and watches. But I think, just back to Tom, I mean, it's obviously not the right way to behave, but he would go there knowing that there would be a big fuss about him going there. He's incredibly he knows these things, and he would say, well, I'm just going to see how it is. And but I think for the Canadians and for the rest of the world who do want to see things, and for the people who've been training a long time and doing well, they don't want it full of Tom Bauer or Harry or Meghan or anyone. They just want the sport. I mean, that's what it's there for. Can you imagine in the games, it's interesting that you wouldn't hear anything. You would just hear the arguments around and what's going on. You don't want anything like that. It spoils it hugely. But I think Meghan doesn't care. In fact, if she wasn't in the camera all the time, she's now got her pictures on her phone, she would be furious.
And I mean, the thing is, Angela, these people are just so grim. I mean, Daily Diaries Friday, which is another Sussex squad account, wrote, "This disgusting pig is at the Invictus Games. Somebody call the police. I love the Sussex squad protecting Harry and Meghan from scum." Now, remember, Angela, Harry and Meghan are the people who claim to be trying to stamp out internet hate. That's one of their missions. But here we have an example of internet hate actually translating into the real world. They're putting a journalist at threat, and of course we hear absolutely nothing from Harry and Meghan. They have never once, Angela, in all of these years, Angela, they have never once disassociated or distanced themselves from the Sussex squad in any way.
Yeah, well, Harry or Meghan, or both of them together, should go up to him and say, why are you here? Leave us alone. But I'm not going to let the people do it themselves. I'm just coming up and saying, watch out. And that's it. He can sit down and watch it. He's entitled to say, I want to see it. Why not? But of course, he has a lot that will help him with his book. I'm sure he must be doing another one. It did very well. He earned a lot of money, so I'm quite sure that he'd want to do another one.
Yeah,
even though it's hard, he's used to this. A lot of people get very annoyed with him about what he says, particularly if it's not true. I mean, he's okay.
Of course, Revenge was the book, so maybe we're going to have part 2 of
Yes, Revenge part 2. Yeah, that'll be it. That'll be it. I just wondered, in the first one, he didn't mention anything about their children, so maybe there will be some sort of story about whether they're there and what they're like and what's happened. I think that's for the next one, but I don't know.
Tom Bower isn't your average royal commentator. His books pull no punches, calling Meghan strategically victim-driven and branding much of the Sussex narrative carefully curated PR. Love him or loathe him, he's a journalist with receipts, and that makes him public enemy number one to the most hardcore faction of Meghan and Harry's fanbase, often dubbed the Sussex Squad. Online, they trend hashtags. In Dusseldorf, they cornered him face-to-face. That leap from keyboard warrior to real-world aggressor? It's a line we shouldn't be crossing, ever. Eyewitnesses say the confrontation started with shouts of liar and racist before spilling toward security barriers. Bower was hustled away. Invictus volunteers called for backup, and one witness claims she heard, "Call the police," echo across the concourse. Think about the optics. Veterans in wheelchairs rolling past as a mob swarms a 7-year-old author. Whatever you think of Bower's opinions, turning a rehabilitation arena into a flashpoint of intimidation is grotesque.
Now, Angela, big news regarding, we've been following this closely, haven't we? Meghan's jam, or more to the point, Aro, American Riviera Orchard, which has had all of these problems, a botched launch, no chief executive, copyright issues. But now, major reporting from the Daily Mail, which headlines this Meghan's last hope. And the idea is that Netflix are now effectively going to try and launch this brand. So let me take you through exactly what has been reported. The Daily Mail can reveal that the Duchess of Sussex will finally launch her brand in just a few weeks' time at brand new brick and mortar stores owned by one of her employers, streaming giant Netflix. And, say sources, the success or failure of her products in the Netflix house superstores will make or break Meghan's entrepreneurial ambitions. The first of the American Riviera Orchard stands will open in early March in two of America's biggest retail centers, the King of Prussia Mall in Philadelphia and the giant Dallas Galleria. The Duchess will offer a range of products under American Riviera Orchard brand, and according to a Netflix source, will include jam, honey, and olive oil. This is make or break for Meghan, says the source. Her new show is rolling out the same time as Netflix stores open. The Netflix stores will offer products and merchandise from all their biggest shows like Squid Games and Stranger Things. They will contain an on-site cafe, so Meghan's products like her strawberry jam will be featured on the menu too. This will determine the future for Meghan as a businesswoman. Let's face it, she hasn't been that successful so far. Well, Angela Evan, look, that is the biggest understatement of the year. And people are completely missing the point with this story. This is Meghan giving up. Like, there's only a few of these Netflix stores in the world. It will be a novelty product. It's nothing like Goop, which is what Meghan Markle originally wanted to try and copy, Gwyneth Paltrow's brand. This is Meghan effectively saying, Netflix, save me. I've launched a brand. I've got no idea how to get product out. Oh, can you pop a few of these things in your stores? It's just embarrassing. It's certainly not her last hope. This is confirmation that American Riviera Orchard has failed before it's even started.
Well, the interesting thing is we've had no notice of the fact that they were going to allow her to use that title. She was told that she couldn't use it because it was too much like the area around where she lives, and you can't own an area. So she couldn't use that at all. So what's happened? Suddenly she got it. I mean, she was going to get it next month, next month. So maybe it's come earlier, but she wasn't allowed to use it. And the fact that secretly somebody must have made loads and loads of jam and honey. I mean, she's got the bees, but there's only not very many of them, so I don't quite know how there's going to be lots of honey. And it's already in the shops. Who's done it? The thing was that she couldn't get cooks because they were fed up with her sort of leaning over them all the time and trying to micromanage what they were doing. And they got fed up and they left because they didn't like it. Quite right too. You know, if you get a top chef, you can't actually tell him what to do if you're not a great cook yourself. So I don't understand it at all, how it's in these shops. And I think it would be, people may buy it once just to taste it, but where's it all coming from? It was all supposed to be coming from her garden. Well, that's not going to go very far. It's an incredible mystery to me and a muddle, and I don't know quite what it said is going to happen is actually going to happen. It doesn't make sense, because very close to that, this Love from Meghan is going to come out, although that's not going to be jam and honey. That's going to be stick your fingers in the flour, or put leaves in glass and ice cubes and all of that. And that's more like, just relax with me. But that's a nonsense as well. I think today's women don't necessarily have time to do minute things in their kitchen. I don't know how that can be very popular, really.
No,
no. They have jobs, they have families and all the rest of it. But why have they got the two coming out together? Is this a great blow up to see that this will be Meghan's last chance? It doesn't make any sense, but it does show that they're not going to keep on and on and on. It's not going to be Meghan in the kitchen in a ball gown, which we saw initially.
Here's the twist. Neither Harry nor Meghan has uttered a syllable, no statement condemning harassment, no tweet urging calm. Par 101 says, distance yourself from violence committed in your name, but the Sussexes? Radio silence. The palace is reportedly monitoring with concern, and insiders claim William sees this as proof the Sussex brand now runs on toxicity, not compassion. Harry built Invictus to heal, allowing it to morph into a platform for bullying undermines everything he claims to stand for.
With that.
No, because the point is, Angela, people who are watching around the world, according to this Daily Mail article, are going to have no way to actually order the products. You'd have to go into one of these stores. And to me, this feels like an engineered leak to the Daily Mail by Netflix to try and big this up, to try and get some hype going. Because the source says Netflix is expanding and growing all the time, and Netflix House is a natural progression. Meghan's products will be in there alongside shirts and merchandise from some of the biggest shows on the planet. It's a bigger deal for her than it is Netflix. If her show doesn't take off, then her merchandise will be quietly taken off the shelves and replaced with products associated with a more popular show. So at the end of the day, this is just a desperate face-saving attempt to try and show that American Riviera Orchard is a product, but effectively it's not, because you're talking about a tiny amount of stock, you're talking about a tiny number of stores, and it's going to be virtually impossible for anyone to get these products if this article is to be believed.
Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? Because when she was originally going to do it, it must have had about 150 different things that she was going to have, with carpets and dog blankets and, you name it, and then she's going to get it. But it's now reduced to 3 things, maybe 4. So it's failed anyway, hasn't it?
Yeah, and no way to test actually whether many people are buying it. No website. I mean, there might only be 100 of these jam, for example. So she can say, oh, it's sold out. It's a sellout. But there's only 100 pots. So it's a joke. Yeah. It's a joke. Look, I will wait and see. I will give her a chance. I mean, look, if, for example, there is an American Riviera Orchard website that launches during the show, then that is a different situation. But what it feels to me is she just got bored. She realized it was too hard. She didn't have business brains who wanted to work with her, and she just moved on, as she does. So it's almost like American Riviera Orchard has been ghosted.
Make no mistake, this isn't activism. It's emotional tribalism where disagreement equals enemy. Today, it's Bauer. Tomorrow, it could be a volunteer who likes the wrong post. When fandom stops being about support and starts policing dissent with intimidation, it's a cult of personality, and Harry and Meghan are its silent prophets. If they don't publicly denounce this behavior, they tacitly endorse it, and the games risk being remembered less for medals and more for meltdowns. The Invictus Games should spotlight veterans, not viral confrontations. If Harry and Meghan want to protect their legacy, and these athletes, They need to speak up now. Until they do, the message is clear. The Sussex squad can police events with impunity, and the royal couple won't blink.
There is an ulterior motive here from David and
Yes.
Victoria Beckham. Because of his tax affairs in the past, he has been put off the list. He's been unable to receive the honours, and he wants the honours, and so he is very much pushing his relationship with Charles and William. But I do genuinely believe he is a true royalist. He respects the royal family.
yes.
He lined
Yes.
up, didn't he, to for 12 hours to view Queen Elizabeth II, the late Queen Elizabeth II, lying in
Yes.
state when other celebrities like Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby just skipped the queue. But we also have to acknowledge, Angela, there is a little bit of revenge here because Harry and Meghan treated David and Victoria atrociously, falsely accused them of leaking stories, ghosted David when he went to the Invictus Games in Australia. I mean, it really was a terrible way. And so for Harry and Meghan
Can you imagine? Just say, can you imagine someone, you're going to Australia to see a match, and when you get there, the person you were going to see, i.e. Harry, just refuses to see you. So you do all that journey for sport, and then you're just sent home again. I mean, that is absolutely disgusting, isn't it? And Meghan making a lot of very unpleasant comments about clothes that she was offered, and that she should be given them for nothing, because she's so thrilled that she would agree to wear them. I mean, they're a nasty lot, aren't they? Very, very nasty. They don't get what they want. They really, really try and rubbish it for someone else, and that goes with Catherine and William. It goes with the King. I think that's in the blood now, which is a great shame.
Well, it is, Angela, because, I mean, just think of how much Harry would have wanted to have some star power like David Beckham at the Invictus Games. I mean, back in the day when he did go to Sydney, he posed with his children in front of the Invictus Games logos. He met the veterans. He did everything right. And because Meghan was so convinced that Victoria Beckham had leaked this story about stylists or something to the media, which I just do not believe Victoria Beckham did, honestly, they ghosted him. And now David Beckham has absolutely aligned himself with King Charles and Prince William. And the Invictus Games is left scraping around desperately for celebrities, and Harry and Meghan are having to pose with people like Nelly Furtado, who hasn't had a hit song in about 20 years. So,
Don't you agree? Don't you agree that it's actually not about music? It's about these games, and I think that that's a shame as well.
They needed to sell the tickets.
They've come there because they want to see if they can win running or go in their wheelchairs and actually do something marvellous for themselves. It's not the same as wanting someone singing away for a few minutes, and that's what you've got to enjoy. I think it's actually human beings doing marvellous things when you never thought they could, through their injuries, and I think that's what it's all about. It's not about someone making a silly old speech, pretending that they're wonderful, or their husband is beyond wonderful. It's also phony. You don't want that. You want get down to it and have a game and see if you can hit that ball, or you can race, or anything like that. That's really what it's all about.
What's your take? Free speech clash or coordinated intimidation? Drop your thoughts below. Hit like if you're tired of toxic fandoms drowning out real stories, and subscribe for more straight talk royal coverage.